And welcome back to the channel. So I want to discuss today this recent reporting that Reform UK have took a massive drop in the polls. The latest poll is saying that Reform UK is still well ahead, are on 26%. That on average is around 5 to 8% lower than Reform UK have been polling. Now, to me, this is all following a narrative. These stories of Farage are coming out about what he may or may not have said at school, totally irrelevant to the majority of people, me included, and now we're being told that the polls are dropping. And what they're going to do is they're going to combine the two arguments. But on this video, I want to discuss why it is impossible for Reform UK to be losing that much vote. And one of the things I'm going to use as evidence for that is this week's by-election. Now, polls do change and they go up and down. And when there's a scandal, they can drop by quite a lot. But you would be seeing that on comments in social media. You'll be seeing internal fighting going on in Reform. If it was the case that this with Nigel Farage was why the polls have dropped. And also, these polls that are coming out now was done 2 weeks ago. That was at the very, very start of some of these ludicrous accusations. So first of all, let's look at all the council by-elections this week. On the previous weeks, we've been seeing a combination of Reform UK and the Lib Dems winning the most seats, followed by Independents and Green. So our first seat, we've got Brookestar, Stapleford and South East. That seat was won by an independent group called Brookestar Alliance, and they gained that from the Labour Party. Brookestar Alliance got 34.6%. Reform came in second place in a Labour seat at 21.9%. Labour all the way down to 11.4%. Derbyshire, and this is a really interesting one because this is a Reform councillor who's actually resigned after only winning last May. Been told it's personal reasons. I would guess there's probably some form of infighting or something popped up. So this, with all the bad press around Reform councils, this is the seat that you would expect Reform UK to lose. Well, in fact, Reform UK held the seat. They won with 28.1% of the vote, with the Conservatives coming only a point behind on 27%. The Labour Party down to 21.8%. East Devon, we've got the Lib Dems hold on 35%. Reform again in close second on only 28% in a Lib Dem seat. The third, Middlesbrough. This was a Lib Dem seat, so you'd imagine quite a left-leaning area. Guess what? Reform UK win it with 35.8% of the vote, round about what they've been polling at nationally. We've got Winkley. This was a Conservative seat, now it's gone to the Lib Dems, who got 42.3%. Reform again coming in second place with 32.8%. So already Reform have come second in 3 seats and first in 2 seats. And our last seat is Watford Tudor. The Lib Dems held that seat with 51%. Guess who came in second place? Reform UK on 27%. The Conservatives third and Labour in dead last with 7% of the vote in a left-leaning area. So that's the first bit of evidence. This week, people went to the polls on Thursday, 2 days ago, and they polled, and out of all 6 seats, they put Reform in second place in 4, first place in first. Now, overall, Reform usually been winning about 50% of the by-elections. They've not won quite 50% this time, but they finished in the top 2 in every single seat. So now let's compare this to the national polls. The national polls are telling us that Reform UK have dropped from between 29 to 35% of the vote, which I'm going to get onto in a minute, all the way down to 26%. The Labour and Conservative Party are on 19%, and the Green Party have risen all the way to 16%. The Lib Dems just slightly below that on around 13%. So the Lib Dems are near enough the same. The Labour Party and Conservative are near enough the same. But yet Reform UK have dropped this massive percentage of vote. Well, the only party that really gained was the Green Party. Now, are we to believe that such a massive proportion of people have left Reform UK to go to the Green Party? Absolutely not. I would imagine you are talking in the hundreds at most of people who will switch between Reform UK and the Green Party. They are complete polar opposites. Reform UK want to scrap net zero. The Green want to scrap using any types of fossil fuels. There is no way that voters are switching between the Green Party and Reform UK. And there's one other thing I really want to touch on, and this is massively important. We take a look at Reform UK's vote share at the last general election, only 18 months ago. Reform UK got around 14% of the vote, and that was 4 million people. So for easiness, let's just roughly say 15% of the vote is around 4.5 to 5 million people. If Reform UK was having a 5% switch, look how many people that actually is. You were talking about 1.5 million people, between 1 million and 2 million. That's only at 5%. So every time we had at Reform UK again 8% less, that would mean that several million people 1 week are decided, no, I'm not voting Reform, and the next week they are voting Reform. The other parties aren't switching much, 1 or 2% is understandable depending on the area you've done. You've only done a small sample size of a couple of thousand people. But the idea, when it just comes to Reform UK, that 5%, around 1.5 million, all the way up to 8%, 2 to 3 million people, I'm totally thinking off the top of my head, there is nowhere that amount of people switch who they are voting for. It is impossible. And then on the next poll, 2 weeks later, they've all simply come back to Reform UK. I think it's all lies. I think they know if the people in power, the establishment, I think if they know, that if they're to suddenly say Reform UK have lost such massive percentage of the votes, people will see straight through it. So what they need is a scandal. But look at the response to this scandal that Farage so-called said racist, homophobic things when he was in school 50 years ago. Have you noticed on any videos put out by Reform UK, any of the TV channels like Talk TV or GB News in the comment section, are you seeing any type of uproar from Reform UK voters? I would actually say it's the opposite. Down the middle voters, the ones who decide elections, are actually seeing through it. And they're not saying Farage said or didn't say it. They're saying, what does it matter? We've seen this in the United States of America. The more they attacked Donald Trump, the better it did. I've seen it on a local level here in Wigan, when the Labour-run council attack independent councillors like myself, another colleague of mine in particular. It has the opposite effect. People see through these fake attacks. So I think the polls are lies. I think they have come up with a scandal that first came out, let's remember, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when Reform was on the verge of winning the 2014 European elections. They've rehearsed that, brought it back, so now that would make sense with the polls falling. Let me know what you think. Do you think I'm correct, this is all lies, or do you believe that this scandal, if you can call it, if it's even relevant, could be having an impact which is seeing Reform UK lose votes? I, like I said, for one, do not believe it. And just before I go, check out some of our merch here. We've got mugs, we've got Make England Great Again, Make Britain Great Again, we've got Nigel Farage for PM, we've got I'm Voting Reform mugs. Check it out on www.commonsenserevolt.uk. The link's in the description and you can see the products under the video. Thank you all very much and I'll see you on the next video.